Alright, so today I went to the 2018 Hilo Orchid Show. It is July 14th, 2018, and what I'm going to do now is go through my orchid haul and just take a little bit more of a careful look and see what kind of goodies I have. So it was actually a pretty awesome. I thought there was a lot of species which I'm interested in. I'm not really interested in the hybrids at all. They look cool, but I don't want to collect them or grow them. So I'm just going to go through and talk about each one that I got real quick, and then I'm going to show how I typically sort after I go to an orchid show or get a bunch of new plants. So first, Bulbophyllum sumatranum. So I really like bulbophyllums. This clearly, I dropped this, get taken out of the car when I got home, which was, this is the only one that fell out. And this was already coming out of the pot. It's quite overgrown. It's a division. Clearly you could see it's cut right there in the past. I'm fine with that, assuming that the grower was actually careful about the way they cut this, so it's not a diseased plant. I'm not planning on selling this. I'm not planning on doing any kind of breeding with it. I just want to grow it. So I'm going to put that in here, and that is one of the very first things that I'm going to repot, and I am not quite sure what I'm going to do with that one yet. Next, we have something without a label. So that's not good. So I dropped more than I thought, I realized. So 2 came out and both of the labels came out, so we'll have to figure that one out. Bummer. Bulbophyllum saurocephalum. Another awesome bulbophyllum. This one actually is probably okay in this pot for one more growth. And even if this growth comes out and starts to send some roots down, I probably don't need to do anything with this one immediately. So I'll put that here. Paphiopedilum purpuratum. This is fantastic. It's awesome. I picked this one on purpose because it had 2 distinct plants in it. There was ones that were a little bit bigger, but I was being greedy and I found one that had 2. So there's no hurry. This looks really happy, really healthy. At some point when I repot this, I'll make 2 plants out of it. So I'll put that one here. Bulbophyllum. So I'm suspicious that this is not a species. I don't really know a ton about Paphiopedilum, to be honest. This is Paphiopedilum Pinocchio. It's written as if it's a species, so it's in lowercase. That's always a good indicator. If it's in uppercase, it's typically either somebody just didn't realize the way to write the names, or because you write species in lowercase, you write hybrids in capitalized. The first letter is capitalized in the name of the plant. So this I also got because it had 2 leads on it, but I'm gonna have to research this one. But that doesn't need to be repotted for a while. Paphiopedilum delineatii. I've grown these before. They were pretty easy to grow in Hawaii. This is a beautiful little plant. It's flowering size. Pretty excited about that. Doesn't need to be repotted for a while. Looks really happy and healthy. All right. Next, we have Pleurothallus tribuloides. I've grown this before. I got rid of all of them when I moved here, so I'm really happy to get this back in the collection. It probably doesn't need to be repotted right away, but I like to put these in baskets. I like them to be in moss, so I may repot this one pretty much immediately, so I'm going to put that over in my repot section. Next is Stanhopea florida. Stanhopeas are the ones that flower out of the bottom of the plant, so you typically put these in baskets with big openings so the flowers can come out. I love these. I think they're from Mexico or Central America. I've never grown one in Hawaii. I grew them in California and they did pretty well. This looks fantastic. It doesn't need to be repotted right now, but I think what I'll do is I'll wait a while. When it sends out its new lead and fills this pot up, the next time I repot this, I'll put it in a basket that will allow those flowers to come out. This also is not flowering size yet; it's a seedling. Pleurothallis longissimum. It's a division. I love Pleurothallis. They're a little bit understated. The reason I like them so much is because that's where the flower is going to come out, right there. The flowers on these are really, really understated. Very understated, but I don't really... I know this is like sacrilegious. I don't really care that much about flowers with orchids, to be honest. I like them, but I'm much more interested in the way the plants grow, the vegetative growth, the roots. I'm like the flowers to me, when it flowers, it means it's happy and healthy, so it's a representation, but I don't live to flower orchids. I really just I love the process. So this does not need to be repotted, but again, with Pleurothallis, I like them in pots, or I like them in baskets. Next we have Sophronitis coccinea. So the cool thing with these bad boys is anytime you see on Cattleya hybrids, when you see the SLC or SC or SL, that's basically this plant. These little flowers, these little small red flowers, give the Cattleya hybrids their nice small size and really beautiful red flowers. So this doesn't need to be repotted, but I'm also not super crazy about this basket it's in. This is a hydroponics basket. I think it's good for getting a lot of airflow in there and good drainage, but I don't really think they look very good, so I want to get that out of there sooner rather than later. There's an urgency on that though. Next we have Schomburgkia thomsoniana, form aurea. So I love Schomburgkias. So to give a little bit of an indication of how big this is going to get, this is a seedling. This is a tiny little plant. Here is a mature Schomburgkia. This is Schomburgkia undulata, and this is a more mature plant. This has never flowers, so this is right on the verge of being mature size to flower. This is a seedling. Basically, these will be the same size, so this is how far away this is, but this was pretty cheap for a very, very healthy looking little plant. And I actually suspect that this plant it's more of a compote. I think there's 2 or 3 plants in there. So this may be the first one I do. I'm kind of curious and excited about that one. Next we have Cattleya walkeriana. I love Cattleya walkeriana. These are the funky ones where the flowers come out of the base. These look great in baskets, and when these are mature, they're fantastic. They stay really small and compact. I love these, so I'm really excited about this. It was a good price. This is $10 for a nice species. This doesn't need to be repotted at this point. Got some roots coming out of the bottom. I may just repot it though, because I really want to baby this. I want this one to do well. So that over there. Next we have Cattleya persivaliana. Really, really healthy, beautiful little seedling. So really excited about this. Got nice strong lead there. Tiny little lead coming out. So I may milk this one. Okay, so I haven't really talked about this on my YouTube channel. Actually, I'm going to hold this for a second because I want to talk about this in a second. Pleurothallis alata. So another Pleurothallis. This is you could see this just finished flowering. This had tons of flowers on it, but this is like a mature plant. I want to grow this into a big, fat specimen of a plant, so I'm really excited about these. I just love these. They just look awesome. Even though this is done flowering, it still is just an awesome looking plant. So I'm going to put this I'll either put this in a basket, or I'll hang it in some way. This is this is a great haul. This is exciting. All right, Laelia tenebrosa variety vinicolor. I really like Laelias. This one I used to have a lot of these. I used to sell these. I don't have any more. I got rid of all my plants, so I'm starting over from scratch. Excited to have this back in the mix, but sometimes I've kind of found these kind of grow a little bit not so pretty. So they're a little bit floppy. So I want to try to figure out a way to make this grow a little bit in a better situation. So this may be a good candidate to be mounted. So I'll probably mount this. Actually, I am going to mount it. I'm going to move it. That'll be one of the earlier ones I do. Next, we have Cattleya alearii. This is a tiny miniature Cattleya, $10, and I just saw this. I didn't see this when I bought it. It's got a little flower bud coming out, so that's fantastic. These are fantastic. They're so nice, and I've seen these before where they get big and mature and turn into specimen plants. So they just have a bunch of flowers coming out. This is going to be great. A couple of years, this is going to be a beast. So I won't do anything with this until it's done flowering. I'm not going to repot it. I'm not going to touch it. So that will go definitely over here. All right, 3 left. So this was a compost. The guy gave it to me for $10. I wasn't super interested in it, but can't turn down $10, and that is a very healthy plant. So what this is I think it's Bifernum lenchorata. I've grown the bifernums before, and I could be getting that wrong. It's BIF. I think these are mostly grown. The interest in these is the shape of the pseudobulb. They have these very hard triangular pseudobulbs. So I think this will be something that's more of a foliage plant for the landscape. I'll probably mount some of these. I'll mount them around the yard and trees, I think, see what we can do with it. But that was kind of why I was interested in the compot, to get a bunch out of this and just sort of experiment with and disperse. So I need to deal with this one sooner rather than later. It's very overgrown, but still very healthy. Okay, so the last two I have are 2 rapiculus Laelias. So the rapiculus they're actually rock growing, and when I started growing orchids, I would go to orchid shows and I would go to orchid meetings, and they would talk about rapiculus. And the way they teach you to grow these is actually pretty intimidating to me. Like, you grow them in sand or in very special little rocks, and you have to give them this super harsh, distinct winter rest before you start flowering. And the people that grow them, the people that grow them well, no disrespect to them, I have a lot, like, I think it's amazing. I don't really have that sort of discipline, to be honest. So what I've learned over the last couple of years is that you can grow these. So this guy is the guy who sold these. He's growing them in little clay pots, growing sphagnum moss, and he lines the top of it with sphagnum moss and lets the roots grow into an empty sort of cavity down there. This is an extremely happy and healthy plant. He had a bunch of these flowering. I've flowered a bunch of these. So basically, I don't grow these as if they need to be grown in rock. I've had much better luck and much better success just growing them like they're orchids. So again, I don't mean any disrespect to the people who nail it when they do it the right way. This is one more, Laelia sanguiloba. This has these really long spikes, probably go up to about here, with these red flowers. It's just beautiful. I love this. I love these Laelias, probably among my favorite types of orchids. So I'm pretty excited about this haul. So 16 awesome plants. Got some Paphiopedilum, some Bulbophyllum, some Cattleya alliance, a couple of random species. Really good haul. I am going to, the very first thing I'm going to do is, I think I will find out if this Schomburgkia is really 2 plants in one. And I know everybody watching is absolutely dying to know. So I will, before you all die of curiosity, I'll figure it out. So I've made some other videos of this. When I take plants like this out and I'm trying to see if there's multiple, I never ever, you never want to break apart a very small plant. You're just going to set it back years. I don't think, unless you're just have an amazing situation going on, I think it's going to be very hard to recover. So all I'm doing is very gently teasing this to see if there's a separation. So I don't know how clearly that's showing up, but right there, there's a separation where these roots are just tangled, but there's no growth. There's no combined or attached growth of the vegetative area. It's just the roots are tangled, and I'm pulling this apart really, really gently. Nothing broke, absolutely nothing broke. So two plants, at least two plants. So that's a smaller plant than I had bargained for when I bought it, but I kind of had some suspicions, and it still looks like there may be two more plants in here. And again, just really gently. I don't want to break anything. If I break anything, I will not be happy with myself. So separate. So fantastic. So this is now 3 really healthy little plants that will probably take 5 years to flower. I have the time and I enjoy waiting, and I already said that I don't really care about the flowers, I care about the process. So this is exciting, really fun. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hopefully I inspired you to go to a local orchid show and pick up some plants of your own. Bye bye.